So when you are sick, I come and see you and I say, this is a candidate for my morgue. Then I start telling your people, oh, you know, mine, I will give you better conditions. Even I will not charge you whatever, preparation, and the last thing. And yet I've eaten all the money. Well, I think we waste so much time in doing bad-mouthing of our colleagues. If you are good, shine. And your shine shall be seen in so many stars in your midst.
And you're just in time for Richard Mwenja exclusive. Of course, this first week of March, the year of our Lord 2024, it is such a true delight to have you on board. And we don't take your support and company for granted. And with me today is former Cabinet Minister Kipchumba Rapkirwa to help me dissect into the day's conversation, touching on a plethora of issues in the world of politics and governance. Now let's go straight to that conversation that you all have been waiting for. Kipchumba Rapkirwa, glad to see you here.
It's also my pleasure, as always. And there is always a chance to learn something new whenever we get into this kind of interaction.
For you, you're of the school of thought that the higher you climb the academic ladder, the more humble you should be and even open for more conversations and knowledge.
Yes, because we come to the realization that knowledge is so huge, the body of knowledge, in whatever field of discipline, there is so much that you ought to know. So whatever body of knowledge that we possess is a small bit of a sea of knowledge. So the higher you go, the humbler you should be if you truly earn the credentials that you have.
Do you take concern with those who have academic, how do we call it, arrogance?
Yeah, we call it intellectual arrogance. You know, Richard, they say in Kiswahili, kichwa ya kuku haistahili kraoni. So if you do not have capacity in terms of excitement, how to receive something without getting overexcited, then you'll be arrogant unnecessarily. You'll be intellectually arrogant because you assume that the other people who may not have gone to school to your level know nothing. There is so much knowledge in every village in this republic.
Very well.
There are people who are depositories of knowledge, and that's why you go to every village, you find some elders under a tree. They are not discussing nothing. They are traveling through the political landscape from pre-colonial, colonial, Kenyatta 1, Moi, Kibaki, Kenyatta 2, up to the present regime.
Very well.
So you cannot ignore those people. They know something.
The subject that is actually going to take the front row seat of today's conversation is that to do with the deployment of Kenyan police to the war-torn Haiti. And it is said Caesar's wife is beyond suspicion or reproach, I should put it that way. But if you look at President Ruto's commitment and sort of obsession to make sure that in the fullness of time, Kenyan police head over to Haiti, do you somewhat believe there could be personal interest in there, or it is purely a Kenyan government idea?
Well, Haiti, what is the status of Haiti? One, police, by definition, are supposed to keep law and order. In Haiti, there is no law. There is no order. So which peace are they going to keep? In Haiti, the other day, they released 4,000 hardcore criminals from the jails. The Prime Minister himself cannot land back at the airport of the country. He's struggling with the issues of legitimacy. Now, when you say our boys and girls will be going to Haiti, there are many preconditions. One is the language. You know, the main language there is either Creole or French. English comes third. And therefore, our policemen have not been trained to know the language, and therefore exposing them to a territory that is hostile, a territory that there is no law and order to keep, despite the fact that you will be keeping them under certain installations. Those installations are not there. They have been run over by the thugs in the street. Haiti has the highest gun per capita in that particular region. And in this case, illegal guns that are owned by thugs in the street. But finally, most important as Africans, why is the problem in Haiti the way it is? It is the American people, the American regimes that have been responsible for destroying law and order in Haiti by imposing their own puppets. Remember the Duvalier, there was somebody called Duvalier, Baby Duvalier, the father, all those fellows, they were imposed by the American system. Remember even the case in court now, even the widow to the late president has now been put as one of the suspects that she killed the husband, or she colluded to kill the husband, and yet herself, she was shot on the thigh and on the hand. So when you talk of Haiti, I would have preferred the president to go back with the prime minister to land in Haiti. And also because he's the commander-in-chief, and he can go with the military might to land in Haiti, then tell us the situation. Otherwise, anything that we are doing, regardless of the amount of money, some businesses you can leave them aside. Like even if butchery was to be giving a lot of money, I will never be a butcher. I will never own an exhauster, the one for... Yeah, and I will never own a mortuary. Whatever the amount, you know, there are some businesses, you must say, this business I'm not going to do just because of money.
No matter how viable they are, they might look.
Because you see, you know, exhauster, you know what an exhauster does?
True.
Yeah, butcher. You are killing cows every day.
Abattoir.
Abattoir. And the third one is...
a morgue.
A morgue. So when you are sick, I come and see you and I say, this is a candidate for my morgue. Then I start telling your people, oh, you know, mine, I will give you better conditions. Even I will not charge you whatever, preparation, and the last thing. And yet I've eaten all the money in between. So there are some businesses that you can just avoid. We want President William Ruto to avoid Haiti. He can take our askaris elsewhere in the world. But Haiti, I beg him. Well, I've been using in the social media, somebody from Haiti himself telling us that if you are coming to Haiti, we'll mistake you that you are joining the oppressors. Those people are not in that condition because they are mad, because they smoke bang. Americans also smoke bang, but there is order in America.
Very well.
They are there because of the colonialism, the oppression done by the Americans. Yeah, and most of the mining, there are some minerals that are being mined from Haiti. So Haiti is like a place to mine and go. You don't mind what has happened after you are mining.
It's a chase after the winds.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, as a seasoned politician and governance expert, could there be an iota of political capital that President Ruto is said to gain should he see into full realization the deployment of Kenyan police to Haiti?
You know, there are a number of things. William Ruto belongs to this school of people. In Kiswahili, they say, upenda kiki. He likes being praised. 2, he likes money. So the 14 billion Kenya shillings is getting from that. That may be the prime motivation. 3, he knows he needs a good name of America to deal with World Bank and IMF because we are patrons of IMF and World Bank.
Nothing to do with him being an ambassador of peace?
Whatever it is, not peace at the expense of your own children. You should realize these are children of Kenya. Yeah. And you see, these boys and girls will want to go there because they hope they will come back with 2 million, 3 million. But yes, if they come back alive, that's okay. But if they come back in the coffin, that's not what I aspire. Well, I don't have a child in the military. But I have so many children in the military because they are my children. They are my grandchildren. So I don't know. Haiti, for me, he should rethink. It is like tax on farm produce. Yeah.
Are you part of the quota that is supporting Sabina party leader Jimmy Wanjigi, who believe President Ruto should actually first pay a visit to Haiti, scout around and analyze the security status before they deploy the troops?
That is the truth. You know, we call that scanning the environment. Scanning the environment is that you start by looking at what are the preconditions that exist on the ground. Like if you are told to start business in Somalia, you must think, how is Somalia? The other way you call it SWOT analysis, what are the strengths and so forth. This one, you scan the environment, you go ahead, scan the environment, then come back. So if that's what Jimmy Wanjigi has said, I believe as Commander-in-Chief, he should have been the first to go there. He can even overfly as he goes to America, then overfly as he comes back. He will see enough mayhem on the ground.
Very well. And do you support the conversation that even before we lend a hand to Haiti, we first need to do with internal setbacks such as banditry in Baringo? Did you believe in that?
You know, we could do both. We could do both. We could, because this is 1,000 policemen, and we've got thousands of them. But my take is the two of them can run concurrently. The only thing is that I feel Haiti is too dangerous for our people. Yeah.
Moving on swiftly and actually shifting gears, and still on the conversation about the insights that came from the recent presser held by Sabina party Jimmy Wanjigi, and now to the political front. On matters the future of Azimio, he believes that there's nothing new Kalonzo Musyoka can offer the country, so he and Raila Odinga should actually exit the political scene. And I'm just going to quote what he said. Kalonzo Musyoka has hit the road position in himself to take over leadership. He should just take the cue from Raila and retire. He has nothing new to offer to Kenyans. Let me ask you, as a seasoned politician and an elder in the society, is Jimmy Wanjigi likely to light and make brighter his political candle by dimming that of Raila and that of Kalonzo Musyoka?
Well, I think we waste so much time in doing bad-mouthing of our colleagues. If you are good, shine, and your shine shall be seen in so many stars in your midst. If Jimmy Wanjigi wants to aspire to a higher position, society will respect him, will give him that opportunity. But I do not belong to the school that you can do better if you are younger or older. A good leader is just like any other person, whether he's 52 or 72. A good leader is a good leader. Remember, this country has had the fortunate situation where 2 presidents have been above 70 and 2 above 50, and 1 now who used to talk about we want a president who is under 50. I don't know what he will say in the next election, because he will be above 50. He will be above 60. Was about 50-something, 56. Yeah, when he took over office. So the question of age, Kenyatta, let history write itself, Kenyatta 1 and Kenyatta 2. Kibaki, history seems to be affirming that he's one of the best. And yet he was 72 when he took over office in 2002. And Uhuru took over, I think, at the age of 54.
Thereabout.
Moi took over at the age of 54. Their performance is notwithstanding the age factor. Possibly you can talk of circumstances and other issues that inform governance and management of political affairs. So the issue of age should not be a factor of consideration. And if you are to actually appreciate age, you will say somebody has tempered his character. Perhaps if he was quick in making certain conclusions, he has realized that life is not about what you think, it's about the sum total of what exists within that particular environment.
Rightly put.
So I am hesitant to give age, not because I still want to be in politics, actively so, but I strongly believe a good leader is good. Even at the age of 27, the late Sakari Onyonga became a minister at the age of 29, having acquired PhD and having won a seat in Kitutu. And Thomas Sankara, at the age of 31, became a president, and he was able to inculcate in the people of Upper Volta, now Burkina Faso, good behavior, where resources were mobilized internally, and when he seemed to be taking off, Blaise Compaoré was used to remove him because the French felt this is too dangerous for them.
Very well.
So the age of a president should not really be a major factor. But of course, people should not overstay their invitation. You're a president for 10 years, go. And don't ask us again for another term.
Don't overstay your invitation.
Your invitation, yeah.
Very well. Not once, not twice has Safina Party leader Jimmy Wanjigi proclaimed that he is the best candidate to actually turn around the fortunes of this country and perhaps even take over after Raila exits the political scene. Would you say, now that you've interacted with him, I know quite a number of times, could he be exaggerating his abilities out of illusion?
Well, I'm reluctant to talk about the entity of Jimmy Wanjigi. What has he done in the public space that we can remember? Which office did he run? And you know, this is the danger of bringing people who have not run even a business. Even the chicken farmer. Which office did he hold? Apart, of course, from being a member of parliament, and then here and there. You know, that's the danger. At times, public office gives you discipline, makes you realize that things are not as easy. Jimmy Wanjigi, has he run any office?
Not yet.
So why doesn't he even become a member of parliament for one of the constituencies in Nairobi?
But he believes it's the voice in the wilderness, the John the Baptist calling and shouting, the time is here for change.
But change comes from the people. I know even I have certain ideas that I believe in. But if the people of Trans Nzoia don't believe that those ideas are useful, I keep them to myself, or I tell them to you.
It is the people to consider you John the Baptist, not you telling
not
yourself.
You to announce yourself John the Baptist.
A voice in the wilderness.
Yeah.
Shouting. It is time for Raila to exit the stage and Kalonzo.
No. Even Raila may not even go, let me tell you. Because the campaign is still on. Campaign is still on. And you see, even if somebody was not to oppose Raila, he must get 2/3 of all the votes cast.
True.
By a genuine members who are not under suspension. And even if he won, and he has a second thought, he may still come back and run for presidency.
Actually, that is something Raila has actually affirmed, that should Kenyans want him to do a job, he's going to come back
he can come back
and step down from AU duties. Which begs the question, there are those who consider, should Raila put such a move, it will be political betrayal to Martha Karua and Kalonzo Musyoka, whom many believe the time is due for them to be flag bearers in the opposition.
You know, Richard, one does not have to be a president to make a difference. The late Joseph Tom Mboya was just a minister, and today people refer to him as if he was a president. He was a member of parliament for the shortest time, almost a quarter of the time I served. But people remember Tom Mboya. They don't remember me. So at times, play your role wherever you are. Even if you have a small kiosk, do it so well that everybody will say this kiosk is organized. Whether it's Nyamachoma, whether it is Mama Oliech, do it in such a way that when people come there, they feel they have eaten the best fish that ever was prepared in Kenya. So let us play our roles. And you don't have to be president. You can make a lot of difference even by documenting ideas. Do you know, my next role, perhaps, if I don't get to elective office or I'm not appointed to any office, is to look at the existing arrangement, document academic documents, academic papers that may be useful in informing decisions in future, so that when I'm dead and buried, those ideas will remain in the annals of history, and somebody may use it even 100 years from now,
to make
that this was a good idea, to make changes that will inform better life for Kenyans who will be alive at that particular time. We should not be thinking of ourselves. A lifetime of a human being is between 0 and 90 years at best. Otherwise, it is between 0 and 70. So why do you want to put Kenya into that particular frame that within 70 years, Kenya must make changes? Kenya is a going concern. Even in our absence, Kenya will still be moving.
There's need for Jimmy Wanjigi to look at the bigger picture.
You should look at the bigger picture and also understand history are written by others. Don't write your own history.
Don't write your own history. That point by former Cabinet Minister Kipruto Arap Kira takes us to the wrap of this conversation today, talking matters. The commitment by President Ruto to see into realization Kenyan police deployed to war-torn Haiti, and also we've crossed over and talked about matters to do with opposition politics in this country and what awaits the opposition. Should Raila clinch the AU seat, or whether should he not actually clinch that particular seat? As to whether you will tap into the nuggets of wisdom from Minister Kipruto Arap Kira, former minister, it remains to be seen. But until then, when we meet on our next conversation, do enjoy the rest of your day. Keep this conversation going on my social media handles at Mwenje Richard across all handles on social media. See you then.